because of course he is a native English speaker, so he's just being humble. He's like presenting up, lifting Italian and Mandarin and other languages, but at the same time he's like trying to lower his own. I get that, I appreciate it. I don't think he's saying it for any negative reason. He's just being humble. But I just wanted to tell you that that's not really how we think in general.
Becomes gonna, want to becomes wanna, I don't know becomes well. You know, right? We've been cutting corners since forever. No wonder other languages think English has issues.
You can keep like rolling over and you stop like when it does, like when you do hold it, and then it will be the 20.
So yeah, we're probably not the best judges here. It turns
What on earth did that guy say?
out that what sounds rough or sweet or weird to anyone has nothing to do with the language itself and everything to do with what your brain is used to. By the way, if you're into this stuff, accent, sounds, how we actually hear language.
Okay, so that's the sponsor segment. Get that money, my friend.
You thought we're angry. All right, let's have some fun. It's time for our angry language parade, where I show you the sounds that make these languages seem harsh. But are they really harsh? Well, you decide.
Oh, wow.
Right, you knew that we were starting here. German is the poster child for angry language jokes.
Flugzeug, Überraschung, Schmetterling.
But just so you're aware, German also gave us some of the most beautiful operas and love poems that you would never want shouted at you. Tune your ear into this.
Sah ein Knab ein Röslein stehen. Röslein auf der Heiden.
You only ever hear
Man, that sounded amazing. Was that high German? It sounded amazing.
German during Hollywood war scenes. What do you think your brain is going to do?
And I walked in, the woman was really nice to me. She was like, Guten Tag, kann ich Ihnen helfen? I looked at her and I thought, confidence, Trevor, confidence. I said, Guten Tag! Ich will ein klein Brotchen haben, bitte schön!
You should try watching real German movies because that will balance the scales.
Of course.
Борис, ты уже был в новой кондитерской?
В новой кондитерской? Бывал.
Yeah, Russian has these distinctive kind of sounds, deep,
Very Slavic, yeah.
dark and intense. I like it. Even the calmest words can feel like a Cold War broadcast.
На протяжении своего существования русский язык, он полиглот, то есть он в себя другие языки.
But it also
Yeah, polyglot. They would take some practice, I have to say. So different from my natural vowels. I would have 7. A, E, I, O, U. These are the 7 vowels of the heptavocalic system of Standard Italian. None of those sound anything like neither Russian or even English, really, though. I mean, some are similar. We've got E, we just spell it differently, but it's pretty much the same sound.
also flows like a waltz. Tchaikovsky thought so, anyway.
Из какого города?
Москва.
Из Москвы. Я учился в Питере. Я думаю, что Питер лучше, чем Москва.
Почему?
Maybe try listening for the melody, not just the edges.
And what if I apply English intonation to the Russian phrase? Нет ничего лучше изучения русского языка.
Yeah, I vote for leaving Russian exactly as it is.
Sure.
This one has been called the angry duck language on the internet.
Really?
Rude? Yes, but
Yeah.
also kind of explains it. See, Vietnamese has 6 tones.
Ba, 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 ba.
Tight syllables and dramatic pitch.
I mean, I can see, as a Mandarin speaker, I can see similarity, but it's clearly more complex. Definitely, Mandarin is easier than that.
Shifts. These tones can sound quite jarring and frantic to us as English speakers because we just don't have them in our language. But to Vietnamese people, well, it's just another day at the office.
Of course, of course.
여자 사람이 나보고 누구냐는데
Oh, but you didn't see this.
Man, I've always been annoyed by some, not everyone, but there is this tendency with some Japanese women and Korean women that they have to act like a child when they are 40. Not the case there, but it's always annoyed the heck out of me. They have a term for it in Japanese. It's buriko. Buriko is when it's like it's a girl or a woman that is older but acts like a freaking child. It pisses me off. I hate it. Like whenever I was on the phone with customers in Japan, and I would pick up 200 calls a day, 150 calls a day was one of my jobs. I had many jobs, but I took that one for about 8 months because I wanted to practice Japanese. And sometimes I would run into those and they go like, konnichiwa. And I'm like, oh, for fuck, let's just speak normally. Regardless, not all that like that, luckily. But when you do hit one of those, it always makes me cringe.
This one coming. Korean is so cool. Lend me your ear.
What Korean sounds like to non-Korean speakers. 용기시나 해래고
전설을 더 해석하래.
Yeah, true.
노팅엄 포레스트랑 했을 때 1분 만에 골 먹히더만 1분 만에 또 먹혔어.
I actually like the sound of Korean, particularly the ending. The rising terminals or the sound, how it goes. I actually like it a lot. It's yeah. I don't think I'll ever learn it. I've put enough hours for 2 Asian languages already, Japanese and Mandarin. I don't need to put another 1,000 hours into anything else like that. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
If you take a look at Korean on my new language difficulty chart, you can see it's a level 7 language, which means it has sounds that English can't even imagine. See, Korean uses something called tense consonants, which basically means the speaker tightens their throat like they're about to shout, even if they're just ordering noodles.
There are 5 kinds of the tense sounds. Ga, da, ba, sa, da.
In Korean, this isn't yelling, it's structure. Your brain just hasn't met tense consonants before.
Japanese.
島田モカです。知ってるんだよ。そう、茶屋街。
Japanese has a reputation
I love it. Finally, an Asian language I can understand. Love that.
for being soft and flowing, but don't be fooled. In the right context, it can sound like an anime boss fight.
何言ってんじゃこら。何がね。何があるんやろ。
何やってるんだお前。
てめえこの野郎。出てこい。
Kono yaro, he called him. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and also in a military context, not just the arguments, but in a military context or in the martial context, I think Japanese sounds really strong. Yeah, no, Japanese can sound a bit of everything, doesn't it? Totally, yeah.
See, with Japanese, context is everything. Here's something fascinating. Japanese uses a thing called pitch accent, where raising your voice slightly can actually change the meaning of a word. So,
Rising your voice? I'm gonna get technical here, Ollie. Is a pitch a raising of your voice? No, not necessarily. It can happen, but usually you are raising the note. When you work with pitch and you're learning the pitch for a word, such as to go, iku, to come, kuru. These are opposite pitches. Or like, I don't know, the pitch for God, kami, as opposed to the pitch for paper, kami. The difference is the note. It's literally the note. If I had a keyboard in front of me, I could show you which notes I'm pushing. And it doesn't matter exactly what you hit, but it matters whether one is higher or lower than the previous one. And that's how the pitch accent functions. There is sometimes a rise in volume, I'll give him that, when you have words such as hana, and then you add a particle, hanaga. Yeah, sometimes you do have a little increase in volume. I've actually looked at this with a machine. That's how crazy I went with this, to actually look at the representations on graph of the sounds. But in general, you're not really raising your voice. You're changing which note you're hitting, and whether you're going down or you're going up or you're staying where you are. Like if you say Yokohama, Yokohama, and there is a mild lowering towards the end in that pattern. But yeah, I mean, pitch is complicated, so I understand we didn't want to spend a lot of time into pitch. Pitch is very complex, though.
even a gentle sentence can sound intense if you're not used to it.
Scare. 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 Scare.
Skir. Oh, I liked that. That sounded great.
Scare. Icelandic, or what can I say? Those k and g sounds hit like ice cracking, but then
Love it.
someone starts singing a 1,000-year-old song and
Man, that was amazing.